Hello, this is Richard Martindale with Martindale Digital, and thank you for joining me on this live stream today, where we're going to talk about whether or not your law firm meetings on Zoom are safe. Now, you've probably seen Zoom in the news about safety and security because a lot more people are using Zoom to, to do their virtual meetings these days because of everything that's going on with coronavirus. You're probably locked out of your office, working from home. And so everybody's using Zoom. And so today I'm going to show you the 8 steps you need to take to make sure you're better prepared and that your law firm meetings are safe and secure. Now, for me, before we get into the topic, I want to tell you a little story of, what I think about when I think about safety and security. I always think of safety and security. When that topic comes up, I think of my grandfather, who I called Papa. And when I was growing up, he owned a grocery store in a small town near where we lived in Tennessee. And my brother and I used to spend a lot of time with him. We'd go to his grocery store. He'd always let us pick a candy bar and a Coke and, just hang out with him. It was so much fun. But I always noticed when we went out to his car, we'd just open the door and get in. Or, after we drove back to their house, drinking that Coke and eating that candy bar, he didn't pull out any keys. He just walked right into the house. And I always asked Papa, I was like, hey, how come you don't lock your car doors or lock your house? And where I lived in a little bit bigger city, we always locked everything. We wanted to be safe and secure. But Papa said, hey, I live in a small town. I don't have to worry about it. Everything's fine. So he had no concerns at all with regard to safety and security. Well, when you're running a law firm and you're acting as an attorney, it's got to be a little bit different. Safety and security is a big concern, and obviously you have a duty to keep all the information with regard to your clients and your cases confidential. So that's why it's very important for you to make sure you've looked at your Zoom meetings, the way that they're set up if you're using Zoom, and make sure you're following these 8 steps to make sure your law firm meetings are as safe as possible. So let's get into it a little bit and talk about exactly what you need to be doing to make sure your law firm meetings are as safe and secure as they can possibly be. So the first step that you want to look at, being number 8 on these 8 steps, is make sure your software that you're using for Zoom is the most up-to-date version. Because Zoom's getting class action lawsuits filed against them, they're trying to address these security concerns as much as possible. And just to give you a little bit of kind of relief from the fear factor, what people are generally doing when they're hacking into these Zoom meetings are, just causing a ruckus, either, using profanity or putting up bad pictures or just, being crazy, basically. So they're not kind of logging in and stealing information from what we've been reading online. But you want to make sure that once you're having a meeting with one of your clients on Zoom, that somebody's not busting into it. So the first step you can take, being number 8 on these top 8 steps you can take, is to make sure you've updated your software. It's the most secure that it can be and the most up-to-date, because Zoom's addressing these safety issues every day as they're popping up. So that's number 8. Number 7, you want to go into your settings in Zoom and check the settings on how you're setting up these meetings. So you can go into the settings as you look here on my screenshots, go into your profile, and then go over and click the settings in the sidebar on the left, and it'll pop up this menu that you'll be able to see. And the first thing is you want to do is don't allow people in early. So that's number 6. When you're not allowing people in early, it's basically meaning you're controlling people as they come into your meeting. So if you don't have this clicked, then basically people could join the meeting before you even start. So you may not even know who's in the meeting as they come. As long as you're the host and you're having control, you can let people into the meeting. So number 6, don't allow people to join the meeting before you get it started. Number 5 on the top 8 things you can do is to require passwords. Now, this is one of the things that Zoom has now fixed, so to speak, in that the current defaults on the most current Zoom software should be that somebody, when you set up a meeting, that it's already got this default in it where it will require a password. But you can go in and check your settings to make sure you've set it up that when you set up a new Zoom meeting, it will require people to enter a password. So that's number 5, require passwords to enter the Zoom meetings. Then number 4, you want to check the settings, not allowing file transfers through chat. That's one of the settings, as you'll see here on this screenshot. And if you're allowing file transfers, apparently that's kind of one way that the hackers are getting in, because if you did allow file transfers, it makes it easier for hackers to get in there from the way that the Zoom software is set up. So just try to make sure you're not allowing any file transfers through chat. Check that so that it's turned off in your settings. Then again, with regard to, like I said, not letting in people early before you start a meeting, you can change the settings so it allows somebody, or it basically forces somebody into a waiting room where you have to admit them into the meeting after the meeting starts. That also allows you to approve people. So you basically, if you're running a meeting and somebody joins, it'll basically kind of like a doorbell will ring, and you'll see the person's name and information over to the right on the window, and you can click to admit people in. So again, it's just a little bit of a safeguard to keep people from just jumping in out of nowhere. You don't even know who's coming into your meeting, and it'll admit people into the meeting, keeps it a little bit more secure so you know who's in there. So that's the third step on the top 8, is putting people into the waiting rooms. Then the second is making sure you're keeping your Zoom links private. Tell attendees not to share the links. Don't post the links out onto a web page or a video. Just make sure that it's a little bit more secure, and you don't want any sort of Zoom links out there for a hacker to be able to get to. And then the number 1 thing you can do is lock your Zoom meeting after everybody arrives. So as you see on my screenshot here, I've got a screenshot of a Zoom window open. Over on the right would be the participants and the list of participants. Once everybody comes in, there's a pop down on the bottom where it says more, and you can see the pop down's open on this screenshot. And there's a checkbox where you can check to lock the meeting. Or if you see the left arrow over there, there's a security tab, which again is another Zoom fix that basically they've put a security tab on the bottom menu bar. If you click on that security tab, one of the things is to allow you to lock a meeting. So that's the number 1 thing you can do, is keeping it most secure, is that to lock your meeting out. So let's say you're going to have 4 people in a meeting. Everybody's there. You know everybody who's supposed to be there is already present. So just lock your meeting off. And that's the number 1 step that you can do. So as always, you're dealing with meetings over the internet. There are going to be security concerns, but I think if Zoom continues to fix things, as well as you take these 8 precautions to make sure that your settings are as secure as they can be, then it's going to help you to have some reassurance that the meetings that you're having with your clients, or even with your staff, people in your office, for your law firm, are going to be the most safe and secure as possible. So, basically with regard to this, with thinking back to my story about my grandfather, I would tell you, don't be like Papa. Don't just leave your doors unlocked. Don't let somebody walk in as much as possible. So if you're using Zoom and using Zoom settings to keep it as most secure as possible, then you should be good, and you shouldn't have any concerns in using Zoom to meet with your clients, meet with your staff members during this time when a lot of people aren't working in their office. So hope you enjoyed this live stream meeting today and this broadcast from myself, Richard Martindale, and Martindale Digital. We're going to be putting out a lot more live stream, a lot more information, so that law firms and attorneys know what they can be doing during this crisis, as well as just learning a little bit more about how to run your law firm well, how to do marketing to market your firm online. So I hope you'll watch some more of these broadcasts with me. We're going to be on all our social media pages. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, just continue to tune in. And actually next week, we're going to be doing some free training on marketing your law firm. So pay attention, tune back into our social media pages, and we're going to have more information. I'd appreciate it. If you have any comments, leave them below, like our pages, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a blessed day.